Hello everyone, it's Katrina, aka the Book Therapist, and I am coming to you today with my April TBR. It is already, almost the middle of April 13th, and I am just getting to this. Mainly because I'm ordering books. I did the book of the month and I was waiting for that to come, which it did, and I did receive Like a Sister. And I did get, let's hold it upside down, the Unsinkable Greta James. So I was waiting for those so I can include those if I wanted to read those in this month. Part of my TBR includes 2 of those Bridgerton books that I did not finish in March, as I was trying to finish the series before I get ready to watch the second season, which I still have not, and then I wanted to finish Passing. So I did finish Passing, so I will have a video with this coming soon. Finish that in April. So it's on my TBR mainly because I read it in April. So I did finish this somehow, and I guess I went based on Gregory being older than Hyacinth, that I read this book first. So I just finished this, what's today? Wednesday. So I finished this Monday. And then I realized that this is similar to them doing Daphne's story first when she's the older daughter, but she's not the oldest child. Anthony is. And his story is second. So anyhow, I read this backwards. So I finished Gregory's story, and now I am just starting It's in His Kiss, Hyacinth's story. So that is on my TBR, and again, like I said, this was on the TBR for April because I didn't read it in March, and I just finished this on Monday. So I'm currently finishing this book. When I started reading this year again, because now my life is open. I wasn't working. I'm not working 7 days a week anymore, because I was. And I really didn't have time for any type of reading other than for business purposes or for religious type purposes. So to read for pleasure again has been just awesome. So anyhow, this was a book that I started and I realized I never finished it. I was going through my Goodreads. It's like, yeah, I gotta go and check it off that I finished it. So I am going to finish Woman Evolve by Sarah Jakes Roberts. So I will finish this out this month as well. All right, I am a part of a book club, and we will be reading Mrs. Wiggins by Mary Monroe. Let me read this to you, the excerpt. The daughter of a prostitute mother and an alcoholic father, Maggie frankly knew her only way out was to marry someone upstanding and church-going. Someone like Hubert Higgins, the most eligible man in Lexington, Alabama, and the son of its most revered preacher, proper and prosperous. Hubert is glad to finally have a wife, even one with Maggie's background. For Hubert has a secret he desperately needs to stay hidden, and Maggie's unexpected charm, elegance, and religious devotion makes her the perfect partner in lies. Their surprising union makes the Wiggins the town's most envied couple, complete with the son, Claude, whom Maggie idolizes, until he falls in love with the worst possible fiance. Terrified, Maggie won't let Daisy destroy her son, and when her employer's brother sexually harasses her, Maggie knows something needs to be done about him as well. In fact, she realizes there are an awful lot of sinning, disruptive people who should be eliminated from her perfect world. But the more Maggie tries to take control, the more obstacles are thrown in her way, and when it seems like the one person she always expected to be there is starting to drift away, Maggie will play one final merciless game to secure what she's fought so hard to earn. So this is going to be good. I'm thinking it gives me feels of like Greenleaf, and I've never watched it. I've never watched Greenleaf, but I've heard people talk about it, and so it gives me kind of that vibe. So we'll be reading that this month. Mother May I Nora. Flawless, enigmatic, conniving, ruthless. At 17, she escaped the grip of her cold and abusive mama after catching the eye of a charismatic Merrill Hodges. His riches and fame became hers. In exchange, she could play the role of doting wife. But she alone was not enough. He wanted a family. With the birth of their perfect daughter, Elizabeth, something foreign and unnerving touches Nora. Love. She wants to protect and lavish her child. She would show her mama how a real mother should be. But the sins of nature and nurture run deep. There's a defiance and manipulation in young Elizabeth that's all too familiar and triggering. Nora can't shake her mama's prophetic words. You're going to hate that kid. Just wait. When Nora's fortune goes sideways after a tragedy with shocking repercussions, she's determined to reclaim her relevance. With a cunning plan and surprising ally, Nora reinvents herself as benevolent icon, good mother, and the powerful, authentic woman she deserves to be. But seeds of the past still fester, haunting Nora's victory and explosive, contradictory behavior. Caught in a cycle of fate, she's both the heroine and the villain of her own story. And as Elizabeth grows into an equally stubborn and strong-minded young woman, Nora may have finally met her match. But if there's one thing never to do, it's to underestimate Nora. So, shift your thinking for success, 77 Ways to Win at Work and in Life by Dean Del Sesto. This will be something that I will read this month, or I'd like to, just to help myself, and not even for myself, but to be able to offer this information to my clients. Like a Sister, as you all know, those who are part of Book of the Month Club, this is one of the selection options for this month. And so I thought it was a very interesting storyline. All right. It says, when the body of Desiree Pierce is found on a playground in New York City the morning after her 25th birthday party, the police and the media are quick to declare her death an overdose. A tragedy, certainly, but not a crime. Yet Desiree's half-sister, Lena Scott, knows that can't be the case. A graduate student at Columbia, Lena has spent the past decade forging her own path, far from the spotlight. But despite the bitter truth that the women haven't spoken in 2 years, torn apart by Desiree's partying and by their father, Mel, a wealthy hip-hop mogul, some facts about Desiree wouldn't have changed, and Desiree would never travel above 125th Street. So why is no one listening to Lena? Lena becomes determined to find justice for her half-sister, even if it means untangling her family's darkest secrets or ending up dead herself. Awesome. I'm looking at the author. It's a person of color. And then the last one, The Unsinkable Greta James, is the last that I would like to read. Just after the sudden death of her mother, her first and most devoted fan in weeks, before the launch of her high-stakes sophomore album, Greta James falls apart on stage. The footage quickly goes viral and she stops playing, her career suddenly in jeopardy. The kind of jeopardy her father, Conrad, had always predicted. The kind he warned her about when he urged her to make more practical choices with her life. Months later, Greta, still heartbroken and very much adrift, reluctantly agrees to accompany Conrad on the Alaskan cruise her parents had booked to celebrate their 40th anniversary. It will be their last chance to heal old wounds in the wake of shared loss. But the trip will also prove to be a voyage of discovery for them both and for Ben Wilder, a charming historian who's on board to lecture about the call of the wild and struggling with the major upheaval in his own life. As Greta works to build back her confidence and Ben confronts an uncertain future, they find themselves drawn to and relying on each other. It's here in the unlikeliest of places at sea, far from the packed city venues, where she unusually plays and surrounded by the stunning Alaskan wilderness, that Greta will finally confront the choices she's made, the heartbreak she suffered, and the family hurt that runs deep in the end. She'll have to decide what her path forward might look like and how to find her voice. So, last month, I read a total of 5 books. So what I wanted to do again was to at least do the same or a little bit more than what I had last month. So being that I've already finished these 2 and I'm in the third and last Bridgerton book that I need to read that I have. I'm going to finish Woman Evolve. So that's a total of 4 that I will have completed. But outside of those, here's another 5 books. So that would be a total of 9 books for me for the month of April. So I'm actually hoping that I am able to get some reading done. I will be traveling next week to a conference. I don't know how much free time that I'll have to be able to read, but I do know that I will bring a couple books with me so I can read on the airplane there and back. But you know how it is when you're at the airport. Sometimes you're picking up a book to bring back, so we'll see how that goes. But that is my April TBR. I think it's relatively manageable. There's a few more weeks left to end the month. I'm about to sign off and finish reading this. So I believe I'll finish this book up tonight. So once I finish this book tonight, I may not get to Thursdays are long days for me, so I really probably won't get an opportunity to read tomorrow. So if I finish this tonight, and depending on when I finish this, may determine if I can pick up this to finish this book out. If not, this is going to be my first book to hop on Friday. But anyhow, that's that. That's my April TBR. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're a subscriber, if you're not, I'd like it if you would become a subscriber. And until next time, keep reading. Take care.